just talking is plenty for me. All right, we are on. The Spreaker is on, and I'm going to go ahead and copy the link and see if I can get onto Facebook and copy the link. So in case the video is just too much for you to deal with, you can go ahead and just deal with the audio, which ought to be pretty good at this point. Let's see if we can go ahead. And get that going. It is interesting, isn't it? Let me go ahead and let's see if I can do this. The returns are interesting, aren't they? It's not anything, and I'll be honest with you. It's not anything what I thought. This is not turning out how I thought, and it's not over. It's far from over, frankly. And I don't have, and again, like I said to you a couple hours ago, I don't have a crystal ball or a Ouija board to tell you how this is all going to play out. But I was just having a conversation when you guys came on with my son, and we were saying early, and my kid's great. By the way, Philip and Henry, who knew my son a few years ago, he's 26. Yes, the last time you saw him, he wasn't 26, but he's 26. And we were having a conversation just now that a lot of Republicans and a lot of conservatives were like, "Oh my God, if Barack Obama gets elected, we're going to die." But we didn't die. We didn't die, and we're still here, doing what we do, being successful, and basically, here's the deal: whatever happens tonight, none of us are going to die. If Donald Trump wins, he is not going to gather up. Hey, Joel, he's not going to gather up black people and send me to Africa, because I ain't never been to Africa, and I ain't got no passport, so I can't get into Africa. That's not gonna. None of that stuff's going to happen. Donald Trump isn't going to round up illegal immigrants and Mexicans. Like some sort of Soylent Green, and dump them with a people mover over the border. That's not going to happen either. No one's going to be rushing through the streets, banging on doors, grabbing parents away from their children and shoving them in abandoned school buses and driving them, across the Mexican border. That's not going to happen either. None of that stuff's going to happen. There will be no 75-foot, 16 feet deep wall across the Mexican border. That's not going to happen either. Please understand that the wall is a metaphor. There ain't going to be no huge wall. That ain't going to happen either. So I think when you can back away from all the ridiculous rhetoric, you may be able to come to some thought about how things are moving forward. Right now, I'm on the Politico. I don't know where everybody is, because all these numbers are different depending on who's called what. But I'm on the Politico website. Right now, the electoral votes are 216 Trump, 197 Clinton, and that includes Clinton getting California, Colorado, New Mexico, and Oregon. The only states, according to Politico, that are not called are Maine, New Hampshire, and Pennsylvania. Georgia, Florida has been called for Trump, by the way. And Nevada, Utah, and Arizona, Washington State, Minnesota, and early Minnesota was close, but it's not close now. It looks like Hillary Clinton is going to win Minnesota with 10 electoral votes. That'll give her 207. Let's see, Iowa. It looks like Trump is going to win Iowa. That'll add, 6 to his total. That'll get him 222. And I wish I had an assistant to write these down. Paul, can you write these down? Let's see. Wisconsin looks like it's going to go Trump. And that's another 10. So that's 32. Let's see. Michigan looks like it's going to go Trump. It might. It's it's really, really close. So when people tell you, let's back up. When people tell you that your vote doesn't count, slap them. It's okay. Tell them I said that I told you to do it. just walk up to them and take your hand and just slap the chocolate out of them. When they say, well, I'm not going to vote because my vote doesn't count anyway, just slap the chocolate out of them. Do it. It's okay. I said it was okay. I'm going to pull a Trump. I'll pay your legal bills. Except that I won't. Let's see. So this is razor thin. Trump has a 0.6% lead. Pennsylvania, again, a 0.1% lead for Trump. Don't know how that's going to play out. New Hampshire, not sure what the heck is happening in New Hampshire. But they only have like 63% of the vote coming in. Hey, Kenny, what's up, Bubba? What's taking New Hampshire so long? I could jog. I'm with my fat butt. I could jog across New Hampshire in an hour. I mean, what's taking them so long? Are they using an abacus? It's the silliest thing ever. What's taking New Hampshire so long? Their polls closed at 7. Their polls closed, golly, almost 5 hours ago. How was that possible? That they're taking so long? It's 48.2 to 46.2% in New Hampshire for Trump, and that's 4 electoral votes. They haven't called Georgia. What the heck is going on in Georgia? And right now, with 78.7% of the vote, Trump is up 53.7% with 16 electoral votes. Ladies and gentlemen, we may wake up in the morning, and it may end up being President-elect Trump. Very well may be. I don't know. Full disclosure, ice storm. You mean in New Hampshire, Kenny? Kenny, you think there's an ice storm in New Hampshire or in Georgia? I mean, what the heck? I mean, Georgia, their polls closed at 7, almost 5 hours ago. Well, you know what? We just got to get to the county seat, and it's up the road a piece, and then you go up to you remember where the general store used to be? You ever get direction from something like that? You know where it used to be, right there on the corner of 54 and 39? There used to be a general store there. Yeah. When you get there, turn left. Both. All right. Well, again, this is a much different outcome than we had thought. Now, here's the deal. Here's what I want to get your input. Those of you who are still watching, I want to get your input. All the major polls and all the major indicators for the past month, 2 months, 3 months, have been saying, especially all of them that had to do with the Electoral College, that Hillary Clinton, except for 2 of them, I believe, had this thing in the bag. How is it possible at this point where she may still win? Obviously, she may still win. This is close. So I'm not popping the champagne yet. Not that I will pop the champagne, frankly. But what does this say about media? What does this say about the people who report this stuff? What does this say about mainstream media? What does it say about NBC and ABC and CBS and MSNBC and CNN, especially CNN? What does these results say about the media that we all depend on? Because, frankly, you can't have a free society like this one if media isn't right down the line. You can't. It's not possible. Or at least willing to tell the truth. I think there will always be spin, but if media is not willing to tell the truth, give you honest numbers and information, what does this say about the media? It's been a long time since most people in the country trusted what they read in the newspaper, or trusted what they heard on the radio, or trusted what they saw on television. Of those of you still watching, do me a favor. Or do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up if you trust mainstream media. Give me an angry face if you don't trust mainstream media. Because I'm curious. I'm curious as to how this sells. I mean, I think that these results so far tell a bigger story. It tells a story about a media that may or may not can be. I mean, how do we trust them moving forward? How do we believe anything they say? How can we believe anything they say? There you go. A couple of angry faces. They just don't. I mean, how can we believe anything that mainstream media says? Oh, although they've already called California for Clinton. Some of the results are coming in. These are not going to affect the totals. I'm on the Politico map. I know a lot of you are using the Google map, and I think I have that up too. Let's see. Do I have that up? No, that's the liars at the absolute liars at CNN. I'm so, you know what? I tell you what. I as far as the media goes, I'm discouraged and upset. But I tell you what, it makes me feel good that I was given the thought, hey Carl, of starting Fight Back Media Group. And Fight Back Media Group is our mission is to push back the dangerous and destructive narrative from mainstream media. They cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted. And I think that if nothing else, this election right now, the numbers that we're all watching that are for real, the votes, the numbers that we're watching, and how people feel around the country are showing something much different than they have been showing us for a while. Now, I have a reason. I have a thought about that, but you're right. I have a thought about most things. Let's see if I can get the Google Maps up. Let's see. According to the Google Maps, it is now according to the Google results, it is Clinton 209, Trump 216. Clinton needs 61 to win, and Trump needs 54 to win. So that's different than the Politico map, much different than the Politico map. And I believe that the truth is somewhere in the middle. Washington and Oregon have been called for Hillary Clinton at 209. Right now, we still have Nevada, Utah, and Arizona in play. Let's see if we can look at the Nevada numbers. Hillary Clinton is leading in Nevada. We'll probably take Nevada. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can do some arithmetic. Can you do some arithmetic with me? Right now, she has 209. And she will, and looks like my prediction, looking at the numbers, not really a prediction, just looking at numbers as they are, she will probably add 6 and take Nevada. Nevada is in V, by the way. Let's look at Utah. Trump leads in Utah with 24% of the vote in. Big, so Utah looks like it's going to go Trump. Arizona looks like Trump is leading in Arizona. Let's see some states that have not come in yet. Minnesota, Clinton is leading in Minnesota, so looks like she's going to take Minnesota. She's expanding her lead there. So let's go ahead and add 10 to that. That's Minnesota, one of the more liberal states in the country. I believe she's nope. Looks like the Donald is going to take Iowa. Let's look at Wisconsin. It looks like the Donald is going to take Wisconsin. It looks like the Donald is going to take Michigan. It's still really close. The Donald just took Georgia, and that's not come in yet. Looks like it's going to go Trump. And Maine, I'm sure they're smoking maple syrup or whatever. It looks like it's going to go Clinton with 4. And those, according to the map, excluding Hawaii and Alaska, that will both probably, Hawaii, they've got already in the column for Clinton. Let's see, we have 10, 20, 30. 209 plus 30 is only 230, which is only 239. So as far as we can see right now, Clinton can only get 239 of the states on Politico anyway that are not called. I'm going to go back to the Google map. It's 209. Yeah, it's 209. They're the same. So Trump has 232. Let's do some arithmetic, kids, shall we? Hey, Pam. How was school today? I trust that things went well there. We're up late. Everybody's going to be red-eyed tomorrow. I tell you what, this is so much different than when I did election coverage for Liberty News in 2012. It was just depressing. I was there with some great folks in Virginia, and we did 5 hours of this. 5 hours in this little bitty room, and it was hot. And we were getting kicked. It was not fun. It was not fun. It was nothing exciting about it. All right, let's go back to the map. Let's see. Donald Trump has 232. Everybody's ready to do a little electoral math, electoral arithmetic. Let's see. He's not going to take Nevada. Let's look at Utah. Looks like Trump is going to take Utah with only 25% of the vote in, but that's 6. I'll go ahead and put Utah in the Trump column. It may not end up that way, but it looks like it's going to. Let's look at Arizona. We'll put Arizona, although it's still close. Let's put those 11 electoral votes in the Trump column, shall we? Hey, Pam. Again, good to see you. I trust that school's okay. Maybe you can, Pam. Maybe you can. Maybe you wake up tomorrow morning and go back to that bastion of liberality that you work in, and see all your colleagues in mourning. It'd be fun to watch anyway. Yeah. If I was going back to if I was going to where you were going tomorrow, Pam, I think I would just stay in my room. I would just stay in my room, play my harp. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and put the six electoral votes from Iowa in the Trump column, because this is basically his path of victory if he's going to have a victory. He is 2 points ahead in Michigan, and that's 16 kids. That's a bunch. That's a bunch. Pennsylvania, that's going to go Clinton, like I said. New Hampshire is probably going to go Trump, and that's an extra 4. Maine, I'm not sure what's going on in Maine. And that's going to go Clinton. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of arithmetic. I don't have my calculator because it's on my phone, and we're doing Facebook Live, so got to go back to the pen. I'm pretty good at this. Let's see. That's 8, 9, and 6 is 15, and 6 is 21. Kenny, I would love to get my saxophone, but I tell you what, it's in my teaching studio where I left. I did not bring my saxophone with me, but if Trump wins, I tell you, I promise I will play Happy Days Are Here Again tomorrow when I get to work. I promise. Let's see, it's 3, 4, 5. Let's see, that's 2, that's 5, 6, 7. Let's see, 1, 2, that's 3. That's 275. Hey, Gene! Good to see you. I missed you. I missed you at work today. I don't know. I work Tuesdays. I only have 2 students on Wednesday. But I was maybe I was in my room. I had 4. Yay! I'm going to starve to death. Anyway, it looks like if things play out like they're going right now, it looks like Trump has 275. And let's see, and Clinton will end up with 239. Now, by no means is this a mandate, but it does, again, go back to exactly what we were talking about before. It goes back to, can we trust what we've been told in media? Now, we've been told that Mrs. Clinton, Secretary Clinton, had this thing in the bag. We got told by mainstream media that. We got told by the establishment Republicans all this. We got told by the intellectual conservatives that, you know what, that this was all said and done and we were. But there was something underfoot. There was something that was happening. There was something that was happening that nobody was reporting on. There's a groundswell of frustration over a lot of these issues. I think there's a groundswell of frustration over over political correctness. I think there's a groundswell. You know what? I really do. I think that I think Ice Cube said it best. You know what? Somebody played his clip. I think this morning or yesterday morning, where he says, "Who doesn't want to be Donald Trump? Rich, powerful, do whatever you want, and more importantly than this, and this is true for most of us, say whatever you want." Who doesn't want to be Donald Trump? And I think that we've kind of no one's talked about that. I know, please, rough around the edges is the understatement of the night about Donald Trump, right? Rough around the edges is the understatement of the night. How about this? And I've said this before. Crass, vulgar, right? True? Hard to deny that Donald Trump is not crass and vulgar. Hard to deny that. But you know who else is crass and vulgar? LBJ. Son of a bitch. You know what? They talked to some people who worked in the White House during LBJ's time, and they said basically that the tenor of the White House lived and died, was up and down on if LBJ woke up in a good mood or not. Was LBJ a womanizer? You bet. He was a womanizer in Texas, and he was a womanizer when he got into the White House, and he was a son of a bitch to work for and work with. Quite frankly, not a nice man. Some people have said the same thing about Secretary Clinton. So I am not so Pollyannish that I think that all these people should be squeaky clean, better than me. I'm just not. I'm not that prudish. I'm not that Pollyannish. I understand. I really get, because I can't say that I've had a lot of serious political experience. Like, you know what? I ran for local office a couple of times. I didn't qualify either time. Translation, I got my ass whipped both times. Failed miserably both times. But what I did understand, what I did get to do, is that I got to be around the political class. Excuse me. There's something that showed up on my screen that I don't want there. I got to be around the political class. I got to be around people that were on television and gave speeches to large groups. And what I found out was, and I think some of my musician friends that are on the call will get this, especially if you've been a pro musician, that they were a lot like theater people. Some of the worst things, the nastiest, the most vile things that I have ever heard in life have come while I was sitting in a rehearsal in a pit orchestra. Now, I don't know, Gene, if you're still on the call, I don't know if you still are, but am I wrong? Some of the most vile things I have ever heard in life have come from when I was sitting in a pit in a rehearsal, doing theater. And the political class is a lot like them, because everybody's on. And when they become off, a lot of them go right into the toilet. A lot of the conversations go right into the toilet and stay there bobbing up and down with a poop. So it wasn't surprising to me. It's not shocking to me. There's no way to defend it. Now, don't get crazy. Don't get it twisted. There's no way to defend it, because I can't possibly defend it. That conversation that Trump had on a bus with Billy Bush, there's no way to defend that sort of language. There's no way to defend it. You're an idiot if you try to defend it. That's crazy. But my friend Paul Swanson says that I've just never hung around public affairs people doing their jobs. Yeah. It's, and Paul Swanson of paulswanson.com. Go to the website. Go to the website tonight before you go to bed, and hit the tip jar. I'm trying to get him to get an email list so you will have an idea of when he posts. But he's saying that's just more work for him, and he don't want to do it. But I think I can goad him into it. But anyway, he said he used to work in public affairs, and the fact of the matter is that a lot of people who work in public life that way are a lot like that. Now, I'm not saying that's good. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's good. But what it doesn't do, it doesn't freak me out to the point where I'm thinking that these people are not. and as Paul said, he's speaking as a former public affairs officer, so he understands that whole thing. But it's a lot like performance people. It's a lot like musicians. It's a lot like actors. It's a lot like musicians. It's a lot like all that stuff. Not that we're excusing any of the behavior. Not that we're holding it up as an example for our children. Not at all. But as an adult, as a grown-up, I'm not freaked out about it. It doesn't raise anything to the level of we can't have that. Like some of these commercials, we can't have that. We can't say that, you know what, dirty language negates you or forbids you from holding public office. I am not going to go there because, frankly, I don't believe that. I just don't think that that's true. Frankly, in this country, it's never been true. Here's something else I'm going to say that some people aren't going to like, but that's okay, because that's what I do. Say stuff people don't like. In piggybacking off what Ice Cube said, everybody wants that who doesn't want to be Trump, is that I think that Donald Trump said a lot of things in this campaign that did resonate with people. And how do I know that's true? Because we're seeing it happen at the polls. when Donald Trump says, I would bomb out of them, a lot of people said, yeah, bomb out of them. Yeah. Now, for us more genteel, calm, reserved, thoughtful type, we're thinking that that's not steady, right? And that's scary. But that message of being overtly and over the top, gun-ho, ready, is what a lot of people have been missing in this country. I mean, frankly, they've missed it. The reserved, intellectual, more statesman-like approach is a pendulum that has swung all the way to one side and now is swinging back. There you go. Now, I also, and let me say something else to offend the rest, the few friends I have left at work, is this. I personally believe that there's been a feminization of what manliness is, because it is women who have been able to decide what's manly and what isn't. I still think that manliness, rightly or wrongly, is aggressive. And you may say it's knuckle dragging. Okay. That's part of it. I'm not giving any latitude to people who beat their wives and girlfriends. I've got a cure for beating your wife and girlfriend. I do. It has to do with a wood chipper, and it has to do with you going in their feet first. Please, don't get it twisted. Don't jump off to what I'm saying, because I grew up in a house where my father was an abuser. I saw physical abuse to my mother up close and personal. So don't go there with it, but I believe that there is, in order to be manly to a degree, you have to be aggressive. And you have to be openly aggressive. That's part of your nature. That's what the testosterone does to you. That's the part that makes you defend your family. That's the part that makes you okay with grabbing an AR-15 or an M16 and going up a hill to defend your country. You can't grab an M16 and go up a hill where there's bombs and all sorts of going on up there, thinking and you may die at any moment. And you're thinking, well, maybe there's a way to talk them out of it. No. Who was it that said this? A great general said that it is not our goal to die for my country, is to make some other die for his. But I think there's been a general feminization of what manliness is. And when you see somebody like Donald Trump, who is just openly testosterone, out of controlled, sort of manly man, rich, powerful, it's offensive to some people. It's too much for some people. I get it. Like I said, Trump, bellicose, crass, vulgar. But frankly, there's a season for everything. Now, is Donald Trump the answer for America in the long term? Maybe. Maybe not. But right now, Trump needs 32. By the way, let me get off my soapbox. Trump needs 32 votes, 32 more electoral votes to win the presidency tonight. He needs 32. Let's go to the map. Here's what Trump's been able to do. Trump has been able to win Ohio. Trump has been able to win Texas and Florida. Impressive. North and South Carolina, Indiana. He broke into the Rust Belt. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Indiana. And let's see, Paul was out there. Paul mentioned, it was a quote from a Patton movie. Thank you, Paul. Yeah. I'm not trying to die for my country. I'm trying to make some other bitch die for his. Let's see here. Let me scroll back his comments. Paul Swanson, who is my right hand dude from up in Wisconsin way. Paul, I need to ask Paul a question. Paul, how was the turnout? I mean, was there a lot of turnout in Wisconsin? Because Wisconsin is still up for play. I know that their polls closed 8:00 your time, so they've been closed for a while now. What's the deal? Are the ballots being rolled on cheese wheels to wherever they have to go to be counted, or are you voting with cheese wheels there? What's taking so long? Looks like according to the Politico map that Trump's up 49.4% to Hillary Clinton's 45.5%. With 78.3% of the vote of the precincts reporting. So it looks like at this point, unless something amazing happens at the last minute, that Trump's going to win Wisconsin. Wow. And that's 10 electoral votes if he wins Wisconsin. Let's look at and of course my computer just locks up. Apparently, I'm being hacked by the Russians, or maybe I'm not being hacked by the Russians. 32. Now, hey Gino, part of my disappointment tonight is that it's not just disappointment because I love being with you guys. I love doing what we're doing, and I promise you, as Fight Back Media grows, we're going to do more of this. As we're able to grow and improve our technology, we're going to grow and do more of this. And my hope, my dream is that we replace all this other nonsense. That we replace it all. Because I think we need to. I think we were to replace it all. Pam said she's going to wear all her Make America Great stuff. She's going to wear a hat. She's going to go into the liberal progressive lion's den and wear all her stuff. Lisa, go Knowles. Hey, listen, what's that like, my friend Lisa, to get a Florida State win and a Republican win all in the same 7 days? Feels pretty good. Again, Clinton needs 61 to go. It doesn't look like anything is changing enough for her to do that. So it looks like, and I know mainstream media is not going to call it. Let's see if I can get back out to Paul. Paul, because is, let's see, Trump needing 16 electoral votes. I'm wondering if the networks are waiting until the top of the hour for the audience. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be waiting for the top of the hour for the audience. Maybe. 16 to win. President Trump. You know what I think is happening? I just had a thought. That's a dangerous thing for Billy to have a thought. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Lisa? A Florida State win against NC State, and a Republican win just a few days later. If I could just have a Buccaneer win. Oh, someone's putting up a Trump sign in the room. I think mainstream media misses the point that a lot of mainstream media and a lot of people miss the point of who Americans are, for the good or the bad, whether you like it or not. I think that there's a lot of misunderstanding who people are and what people think. I want to address something else before they come back, and if Paul, if you'll keep an eye on the TV, because I can't see, because there's no TV here, because we don't have the technology yet. But as we build Fight Back Media, as my friends help Fight Back Media by going to fightbackmedia.com and clicking the donate button and helping us improve, then we'll have that in the next election. We'll have all that technology right here. The TV's in the other room, so I can't see it. So if Paul will continue to stream the TV and let us know what's going on there, I want to share this with you because I think it's important. I think that a lot of people really don't understand. Thank you, Paul. Paul's out there. He's my research team. He's my producer. He is killing it up in Wisconsin. PaulSwanson.com. Go there now. Hit the tip jar. I'm trying to get him to do a mailing list. He needs to go to MailChimp and do, "Hey, Gavin, what's up, baby? I love you, man. I love you, dude." But anyway, here's the deal. While mainstream media and the like, and the left are painting Donald Trump as this homophobic, xenophobic, bigot, racist, misogynist, they're trying to push that narrative. I'll tell you what's happening in my community, and when we drill down the numbers, and when we drill down the numbers, you're going to find what I'm saying to you tonight to be true. Take them to the credit union, because we don't do banks at my house. We're a credit union family. Is that there were a lot of black people. I was going to say African Americans, but I don't believe in that. A lot of black people who were on the DL. That's down low for you folks in the suburbs. They were on the DL about voting for Trump. And I had a conversation with my friend Shirley Huzar today of Urban Game Changers, somebody else who's on the fightbackmedia.com website. And we said that there were a lot of people who were on the DL who, my wife, you know what? God bless my family. I have got a great family. You know what? We're all turning into each other as we all get older. You know how when married couples stay married for a long time, they end up looking alike and dressing alike and talking alike. That's happening in my house too. My wife and I have been married almost 30 years. And she's awesome. She's fabulous. She takes care of us. We were having a conversation when I got home from work. There were some people who are on our Facebook page that she went to high school with. And some of them were very, very upset about the county that they live in seems to be going for Trump. Yes, we become our parents. We do. And she and the people on our Facebook page, a couple of them were very, very upset. And we were saying, you know what? It isn't just the white people who are in this small Florida county that were voting for Donald Trump in Jefferson County. It's not just the white folks. It's not just the white racists. Not just the Klan members. It's a lot of It's a lot of black people who live and vote in that county who are going to vote for Trump on the DL. They weren't talking about it. They weren't taking signs and putting them on their car. They weren't wearing Trump shirts. They weren't wearing the red Trump hat with "Make America Great." They weren't putting hashtag MAGA on their tweets. They weren't saying a word. Here's what they did tonight. They walked into the voting booth, and they got their utensil, and they started. And then they finally thought, "Oh crap! I haven't." Hang on a second. I got somebody in my ear. Okay, and they go, "Oh, I didn't vote for president." Oh, dang. And they looked at it, and they looked at it, and they knew when they got there in their head, I should vote for Trump. I look at my community, I look at how things really are, I should vote for Trump. And they kind of went, F it. And they said Trump. And they got their ballot and they put it in the machine. There were a lot of underground, on the down low, black people who voted for Trump. There were a lot of, on the down low, Hispanic people who voted for Trump. There were a lot of women that voted for Trump. There were a lot of women that voted for Trump. There were gay people who follow Milo Yiannopoulos who voted for Trump. I'm telling you, mainstream media missed a lot. Trump's up 244 to 209. Let me get back to Paul. Something happened just now. I heard some cheering going on in my living room. Paul, what's the numbers? Paul is Paul Swanson with an E, S-E-N, Paul Swanson. It's Swedish. Go to paulswanson.com and click the tip jar. Enjoy the articles. He and I are going to do a call soon, and he's going to put a mailing list together. And that's all there is to it. I got one. He's got one too. So there you go. That went on, and I think a lot of people missed that. I think that unfortunately a lot of people on the left just sort of bought into the narrative that was being pushed by mainstream media. Swanson's got we got 254 to 209 for Trump. So that's 16, right? Is that 16 to 270? Hey, I've got resources all over the country. Look at me, feeling all important. Hey, Lisa, thank you, honey. I appreciate it. Listen, 16, that's correct. Lisa, real quick, do you guys still have the shop? But so so Michigan is still in play. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna hop to the political map and see what we got going on in the Michiganders. A bunch of the states that we talked about before had not been called. Utah got called for Trump. Trump is leading in Michigan currently, 48.2 to 46.6. Close for sure. Now, the thing is that there'll be a lot of chest bumping and going on tomorrow, but you know what? There ain't no mandate. Let me help you. There ain't no mandate. And I'll tell you what, I don't think it is necessarily up to Donald Trump. Now, media will tell you. Do you guys have the shop still? I don't think it's necessarily up to Donald Trump to, quote, bring the country back together. I think it's up to Trump to fulfill his promises. That's all I want. I thought about this today. I thought about, what if Donald Trump wins? What if he wins? What do I want from Donald Trump? If I got to talk to Donald Trump, what would I tell him? Hey, Don is on the call. Y'all got to behave now. My baby girl is on the call. Hey, honey. What would I say? Well, if I got a chance to sit down with Donald Trump, if he became president of the United States, what would I say? I would just say simply, in order to make things different, in order to prove yourself different than the people that you don't like. Oh, cool. Maybe I'll come down and get something because I need something. I can't do this whole thing in black T-shirts. What do you think? You think your husband will hook me up with a little Fight Back Media discount? You don't have to. I'm just playing. I ain't begging for no discount. I want you guys to succeed. I want you guys to do well. It's important to me that you do well. You guys will work hard and continue to work hard. I ain't trying to get nothing for free. But one of them ties would be nice. Just playing. But I would say to Donald Trump, all you have to do now, if you win the presidency, sir, all you have to do now is fulfill your promises. That's it. That's all you need to do is fulfill your promises. That's all I want you to do. I want you to do something different than normal politicians. I want you to do what you said you were going to do. That's it. You know what? If you're going to change the tax code, I don't think there's anybody who thinks the tax code is perfect. It wasn't brought down Moses didn't bring the Ten Commandments and the U.S. on one side and the U.S. tax code on the other. Chuck, what's up, baby? You're up awfully late for somebody who works for themselves. I don't think that he brought the Ten Commandments on one hand and the U.S. tax code in another. I think the tax code can be changed, and if you promise to change the tax code, go about doing that. Put the people together, put the coalition together, get into the IRS, fire whoever you have to fire, and change the tax code. Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. Because I haven't seen you guys in a while. And I'll tell you what. And for everybody who's on the call, my friend Lisa, we were all at Florida State together. Scalp them. Her and her husband have a men's shop in downtown Tampa of really fine clothes. I mean, just what a great place. It's one of those places. You know what? I'll tell you. I'm gonna go off on a rabbit trail. I'm gonna get back to what I was saying in a second. It's one of those places where, as a guy, you go in and you're not used to being treated well. You're used to going into some place and like Walmart or Target or and you try to find some clothes that fit, and you go in this awful little dressing room, and if you're lucky, your wife goes with you to let you know that you're not going to come out looking like a clown, right? But when you go into their shop, it's one of those things where somebody takes care of you. Somebody makes sure that all your crap matches, that you look good, and it fits. They've got tailors to make sure that it fits, so when you leave, you look good. And I'll tell you what, as a guy, as a manly man, when you look good, you do feel better. You do feel more powerful. You do feel stronger. You do feel more in control. And their shop allows guys to do that. So, all while not being pretentious. Don't pretension there. It's great, though. It's great. So I can't wait to get back. Anyway, what we're talking about, and Chuck Guthrie is on the call of Guthrie's Computer Plus here in Brandon, Florida. And he's the guy who fixed my computer in one day. I closed my laptop with a screwdriver there on the keyboard and broke my screen into 1,000 pieces. And Chuck fixed it in one day. Great I am so blessed. I got great folks that I get to be around. So, all right. We're still waiting for Michigan. Are we still waiting for Michigan? Let's go back to my friend. NewYorkTimes.com showing trend for a Trump win. So if they call Michigan, let's look. If they call Michigan for Trump, That's the 16. Game over. President-elect Trump. How do you feel about that? Now, I, like myself, I told you when we started this cast tonight, Donald Trump was not my first choice. He was not my second choice. He was not my third choice. In no particular order. Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Dr. Carson, hell, Carly Fiorina. I don't know whether Carly was in the top 4, but she was definitely in the top 6. Mike Huckabee. I like Mike because he's a killing bass, because Mike can kill on the bass. You know, Mike Huckabee is a Baptist preacher who plays bass. He has a Warburton bass that is just killer. I just love watching him play bass. I miss his show because he always plays some music at the end and he plays bass, and I play bass, so I thought that was cool. And he was the only candidate when he was running in 2012 who talked about, or 2008, talked about adding and making sure that schools had art and music. Which was amazing to me. I don't know if my friend Pam Hill is still on the call, but was amazing to me that so many teachers, especially music teachers, shied away from Huckabee because he was the only person who said, you should have your job. That kind of blew me away. So I gravitated to Huckabee right away because he was about having arts in school. Art, music. Music especially. But anyway, so no, Trump was not my first choice. But it was pretty easy. Once you did the least amount, I mean, the most surfacey, slimy top of who Hillary Clinton is, it was pretty easy to go, well, can't let that happen. Can't let that happen. Okay. So if somebody, you know, people who are my friends who are still on, and you're wondering how I got there, it wasn't because I was a guy who was up and down and hopping up and down early about Donald Trump, because I wasn't. I wasn't. But I was, you know, and people were saying this. Hey, Brian, you know, how you feel? Brian, how you feeling, buddy? You feeling good? You feeling good? You feel like you're going to sleep tonight or what? That's the deal. You know what? I just, you know what, after, you know what, learning about Hillary Clinton calling black children super predators that need to heal, and some of the other stuff. And yes, the emails, good. I'm glad you're feeling good. All the email stuff. I had a long conversation with Colonel Jim Warshuk, who's a retired colonel from the Air Force, about all the security things. And he hit me to a lot of information that America is finally getting. He's your boy. No, he's your boy. And I'm going to hold you personally responsible for everything he says and does for the next 4 years if he manages to get elected president. And it looks like that may happen. But, you know, I thought there's no way. This is a level of corruption that we can't ignore. It's corruption and crime, frankly, over being a crass, vulgar idiot. Okay. And I understand that, you know what, my friend Chris Ingram was on Bay News 9 a little bit ago, and he was saying, you know what, people have come to us and said, I don't like either one of them. Because, frankly, for a lot of people, neither one of them are quite, frankly, all that likable. And true alpha males are very rarely likable. True alpha males, and I think that that he is one, are very rarely likable. Most of the time, they come off as pompous jerks. And what makes them true alpha males is their ability to actually do what they say and get things done for people. And do they protect? Do they do all the things they're supposed to? I mean, do they fight for and protect and provide? And it seems like Donald Trump fights for, protects, and provided for his family and his friends and his workers and the people who work for him. When they say Donald Trump's a misogynist and a woman hater, wait a minute. Didn't he get women into high positions on construction deals that were huge, that there had not been women involved in? I mean, really? Okay, so Trump is on the way to the Hilton from Trump Tower. I know this is a silly question. Sorry, it came to mind, and it's late, and my filter is absolutely threadbare. You think Donald Trump is going to stay in the White House, or will he stay down the street at his hotel that they built down the street from the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue? See, that is an alpha male thing to do. Let me put my name on this hotel down the street from the White House. That's badass. Yes, it's pompous and it's arrogant, but it's badass. New York Times, according to my my friend in Wisconsin, Paul Swanson at paulswanson.com. Go to paulswanson.com and click the tip jar. It's saying that the New York Slime. I got some. Hang on a second. I've got a Facebook notification on my screen. I had to move so I could see. It says that 85% Trump to win Pennsylvania, and if Trump wins Pennsylvania, let's go ahead and review 20 electoral votes. You need 16. Game over, baby. All done. President Trump. Been a long time since an outsider, a business guy, won the White House. Frankly, didn't work out so well last time. It was Herbert Hoover. But a lot that happened, what happened to Herbert Hoover in the Depression wasn't Hoover's fault. But it was Hoover. And there are a lot more stopgap measures and mechanisms in place to keep from what happened in the Great Depression in the 20s that happened to Hoover from happening now. Things are a lot different. So I guess we're all waiting. We're all waiting for Michigan, right? 16 electoral votes in Michigan. New York Slime, like Mark Levin. New York Slime says 85% chance of actually winning Pennsylvania, which is 20. That's 36 total. That's game over. Looks like 10 in Wisconsin. Looks like Clinton is going to win Minnesota with 10. And when I added up, there doesn't seem to be a way that she could win. Now, another question for you guys before we finish up here. It looks like we're going to be finishing up here in just a few minutes. And I want to go out there and spend some time praying with my family. Because when it all boils down to it, no matter who wins, God's people got to pray. There's a lot going on in our country. There's a lot going on in our country that didn't have anything to do with Hillary Clinton. There's a lot going on in our country that didn't have anything to do with Donald Trump. There's a lot going on in our country. So whoever wins, we got to pray. All right, my Facebook Live. I don't know what happened. My Facebook Live crashed. I guess I can only be on for so long. I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to come back on Fight Back Media Group. Election. I'm going to try it again. I don't know what happened. It crashed. Let's see. We're still waiting for Michigan to be called. And it looks like, let's go back to my friend Paul. Nevada has gone for Clinton, but we said it would, right? Didn't I say it would? I did say it would, didn't I? That puts Secretary Clinton at 255, and she needs a bunch. This is like this is like Family Feud. They're playing Fast Money, and she needs a bunch. Needs a bunch. She needs to run. She needs to run the table, and it doesn't look like she's going to run the table. She needs a bunch, folks, and it just doesn't look like she's going to be able to run the table. So there you go. I'm going to try to... I still see... I hear my son in there. And I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Apparently, I've been hacked by the Russians. Apparently, Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg didn't like what we were talking about. Found us and kicked me off. Okay, I don't believe any of that. I believe that we just have a weak signal. And something happened and it went down. Okay, that's what I really believe. I don't believe that that I've been hacked. I don't believe that the Russians got me. I don't believe that Mark Zuckerberg gives a rat's patoot about what I'm doing here. I'm somebody who's never been in Facebook jail, other than at some point way back when Facebook thought that I was sending too many invites to events. But right now it's Hillary Clinton at 215 and Donald Trump at 244. Is that what it is? 215. Is it 215 to 244? Let me go back and ask my friend. Let's see here. Gave me the numbers before and I've forgotten. 254 to 209. Trump. What's it at? What's it at now, Paul? What are you seeing? What are you? I mean, the numbers that I'm finding on Google is 215 Clinton, 244 Trump. Hey, Gene. Somebody's moving to Canada. Gene, are you moving to Canada? Can I have your room? Again, I don't really think that I'm being hacked by Mark Zuckerberg. I don't think he gives a rat's patoot about me. I'm sure Zuckerberg's bathroom is bigger than my whole house, so he's got nothing to fear from me. Nothing, zero. Because you know what, I'm using his joint here. I'm using his thing, so I'm sure that he's not worried about me. He's not worried about what I'm saying. So no, I don't believe that I'm being hacked by him. I don't believe that I'm being knocked. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Philip. I didn't get knocked off because Facebook didn't like what I was saying. I don't believe any of that. I don't get into that kind of stuff. I just think that we had a problem with the Facebook Live thing. Right now it's 254 to 215 for Trump. And again, as we look at the maps, hey Lisa's back. Thanks everybody for finding your way back home. That still, let's see here. Nevada, which I thought was interesting. Hey Consuelo, a toast. Oh, from like Rocky Horror Picture Show. Phil, did you ever go to Rocky Horror Picture Show, or were you too pious to me amongst the great unwashed like us who went to university on Friday night to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show? I was there. I was there, and then off to the stables was a bar. Back in the day, that was me. Let's see. Donald Trump's going to win. I think Donald Trump is going to win Arizona, and Arizona is 11. I think Donald Trump is going to win Wisconsin. And that's 10. I think that Donald Trump is going to win Pennsylvania, and that's 20. There's no path, I think, at this point, for Hillary Clinton to win the White House. So, we're going to talk. I mean, we're going to hang out a little bit to where these other clowns make it official. Fight Back Media Group at 12:33 on November 9th has called this election for president of the United States for Donald John Trump. How's that make you feel? Are you okay? Jean, Sarah, Philip, Consuelo? Consuelo is like, thank you, Jesus. I think she feels okay. I think Philip feels okay. He's like, a toast. A toast. And it's funny about Philip is I'm not telling any stories out of school. Oh, two great responses. You saw Philip said I saw Rocky Horror in Gainesville as an 18-year-old freshman at UF. I felt very naughty. Oh yes. Oh yes. I've been building a man. God, I'm sorry, I loved it. I just loved it. So when people think I'm this big prude now, no. I just loved it. I didn't want to dress up like Frankenfurter, but he always impressed me. And Lisa, do you think he will permanently lose his Twitter habit? You know what? I hope so. You know what? During the campaign, you know what? It's funny. Philip and I mentioned this a couple of times during the campaign. Can someone just delete his Twitter account? I agree. I just agree. I think that, or at least somebody else handle it. Can somebody else handle it? I don't want him sitting there in the White House, you know, at his office, PO'd about something, hopping on Twitter and dogging people out. No, I don't want to see that. I think that's counterproductive. I don't want to see that. You know what? But I want somebody to take his Twitter account. I want if he still has control of it. I want it when he hits the send button. I want it to go to somebody else in the White House and goes, oh, POTUS. Hey, Yetta May. POTUS has just tweeted. Well, let's see what it is. And that can't go out. Change this. And then resend it. Yeah, you're right, Lisa. I think that's probably the best way to go. Lisa, I don't know whether Yetta. I just called Fight Back Media Group. Just called the election for Donald Trump. I don't know how that makes you feel. But we'll talk about it. I've got, you know what, and thank you. I've got a couple people on the call who work where I work, and I think I've been very good. I've been very quiet at work. I've not said anything, and I don't think I've said anything out in the public area. I think that there's some people who have come to my room, like Brian, who was on earlier, and we've had conversations. And Brian Shank, somebody else I work with, we had conversations in my room, but I don't think I said anything at all about the election in the public space. I've been very careful not to, on purpose. But as I was saying earlier, before I was hacked by the Russians and Mark Zuckerberg, just like a lot of my conservative friends who thought that when Barack Obama got elected in 2008, it was going to be the end of their world as they knew it. I don't want any of my Democrat friends or my liberal friends to think that this is going to be the end of the universe as you know it. No, it's not. Things don't work like that. They never have, and they still won't. I think that Donald Trump will figure out, just like Barack Obama figured out, there's a whole bunch of stuff that he wants to do that if Congress doesn't go along, he is stuck in the mud. Done. He can just be frustrated. He can just be pissed off. But if he can't find somebody in Congress to help him push these things that he says he wants to do, whether they're good or not, whether they're building a wall, whether they're blah, 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 whatever, if he can't find people in Congress to help him with these projects, they won't happen. So he's got to put on his general contractor hat and get all the subcontractors on board, which is a lot different groove than running around kicking people in the genitals, making them do whatever you want them to do. Much different groove. Now, can he do it? Well, I think that if you've been on these construction projects, working with all of these people from all sorts of construction arts and unions and the like, and you're successful, yes, you have that in your bag of tricks. You have that as part of one of your talents. Will he be able to use it? Well, I don't know. But you know what? It seems like, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Ken, you're back. It seems like we're going to find out. It seems like in a little bit we're gonna find out if Donald Trump can do any of the things that he promised. Thank you, Lisa. Up by 0.9% in Michigan, with 75% of the vote in. Holy crap! Like I said about an hour ago, don't let anybody tell you that not every vote counts. Please, don't let anybody tell you that. Don't let anybody tell you that your votes don't count. If they tell you that, slap them. Slap the chocolate out of them. Hard. Open your hand up and pull it way down next to your ankle. And bring that crap up as fast as you can to their head. Because it does count. And we're starting to, and we see that. Gary James Knight, what's up, baby? We're just doing the media grind here. This is not what people thought. I'll be honest with you. It's not what I thought. This is not how I thought it would work out. I thought it'd be close, but I didn't think it'd work out. You know what? And when I left work, I said, well, you know what? The Donald is making a game out of it early, but it looks like he's playing all 4 quarters of this football game and has a chance to win. And right now, I think with the numbers the way they are, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, if they look at the map. Paul, let me get back to Paul. Yes. Fatback Media Group is the first to make the call. That should bring in the investors. I made the call. I did. I've already called this for Trump because there's no path to victory for Hillary Clinton. This is essentially over. Now, mainstream media is holding on all hope against all hope that, especially in Michigan, that she's able to pull out a win in Michigan here with 79% of the vote, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like this 1%, 47.9 to 47%. It looks like it's going to hold up. And if it doesn't hold up, there's still, hey Doyle, good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, Gary, and the House and Senate look okay too. Marco Rubio in Florida wins. Evan Bayh is defeated by a new Democrat. So that right there pretty much destroyed any chance of the of Democrats taking over the Senate. There were some switches in the houses in the House races, but they look like that's in charge. So it's going to be, frankly, a lot of pressure. You're not. See, Doyle's not surprised because he's a. I think Doyle. And correct me if I'm wrong. Doyle, you've been a believer since the beginning. Have you not? Yes, I think Doyle has been. You see guys that Doyle's on the call. I think Doyle's been a believer since the beginning. I am kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised that this late in the game, especially with California and New York in play, California with 29, and I mean California with 55, and New York with 29. That is looking like, no, this map does not look like the Ronald Reagan map. But when you talk about Ohio, Texas, and Florida, North Carolina, and it looks like it may be Pennsylvania too. I don't know what I don't care what your politics is. If you know anything about this game, you have got to say that this is impressive. It's impressive. And especially because it seemed like Donald Trump did not have, quote, a ground game in a lot of places. My son's out there yelling at the TV. I love it. God, I love that guy. My kid, I love that guy. I do. Let's see. Lisa is reporting that up by 0.6. In Pennsylvania, it's razor thin. Now, what I'm curious about, and I'm going to ask my friend Paul, who's in the chat room on the Fight Back Media speaker page, with these margins being so close, what's the chances of recounts in a lot of these counties and a lot of these districts? Now this is going to be important, and this is what I'm sort of asking those who are on the call, who didn't support Donald Trump, not to call you out and embarrass you, but I'm curious as to what you think. Will the Clinton campaign, if Donald Trump goes over the 270 mark tonight, before we all go to bed, because we all got to get up in 3 minutes, will she just bend to the will of the people and call this? And you know what? Once it gets called for Donald Trump at 270, and I've already called it, will she just accept that, or will the Clinton campaign continue to fight on over the next few days, looking at recounts at districts, just sort of like the whole Florida hanging Chad thing? Gary's right. They don't want recounts. They'll just uncover some voter fraud, right? So I'm curious, especially with these margins being as close as they are. We're talking about. Let's look at Michigan. Michigan has changed with 79.9% of the votes reporting. Let me turn this computer around so I can actually see it. Pull that back. 79.7% of the votes reporting. 16 electoral votes in Michigan. Trump is up 47.9 to 46.9. That's a point. And let's see, 1,800,441 votes for Trump to 1,762,874 votes for Secretary Clinton. That is razor thin. There's no way around it. Let's look at Wisconsin with almost 90% of the vote in. Trump is up 49.1 to Hillary Clinton's 45.7. You got to be calling on Wisconsin for Trump at this point. Let's look at Minnesota. It looks like Clinton's going to win Minnesota with 40. Yes, we got to call Minnesota with 75% of the vote in for Hillary Clinton. Arizona, you got to call Arizona with 70% of the vote in with 11 electoral votes. You got to. I mean, they've been closed for 3.5 hours, almost 4 hours now. You got to call that election for Donald Trump at 49.3 to 45.7. You've got to call that, right? There's no arithmetic or mathematical path to victory to 270 for Hillary Clinton. So, is she going to, tonight, do you think that she will simply say, well, we fought hard. We did what we could. We tried to let America know. But we came up a little short. But that doesn't mean that we won't keep fighting for the rights of women. We won't stop fighting for the rights of children, our families. Sorry, that's a really horrific imitation of Hillary Clinton. But that's how I hear her in my head. Sorry. Not sorry. Will she simply do that tonight? And go back to her personal life and do yoga? Play with her grandkids? Exchange recipes with Chelsea? Go back working in Haiti with the Clinton Foundation? What do you think? What do you think if Hillary Clinton loses this election tonight? What do you think her reaction is going to be? That her campaign reaction is going to be? What do you think? I mean, in the last debate, there was a lot being made of Donald Trump saying, "Well, we'll have to see what happens." Oh my God! And everybody's like, "Oh, what are we gonna do? That's terrible. That's dangerous. I can't believe you said that." If Hillary Clinton loses this election tonight, I don't see a path for her to get to 270. But if for some reason she's able to stop Donald Trump from getting to 270, what happens? Does she gracefully bow out? The American people have spoken. Let's just end this. This has gone on too long. Or does she fight on? Does she fight on in the courts? And according to Paul Swanson in Wisconsin, did you hear that? Paul Swanson in Wisconsin. Wisconsin has been called for the Trumpster. And I believe that's 10, right? Is that not 10? Is that not 10? I believe that's 10. If Wisconsin, according to Paul, I don't see that on the political map, but it looks like if that's the case, I believe that that is 10. I'm right. Well, yeah, that I already call that. That's 10 in the Donald Trump column. That puts him at 264. I'm going to go back to Paul. Paul, is that correct? Yes, it's 10. So that puts him at 264. And if that puts him at 264, I've already called it. Donald Trump is going to be your next president. Donald Trump is going to be your next president. I haven't had a chance to look at my Facebook page. And my wife just liked my my video. Thank you, baby. I'm not seeing any reaction. Are you seeing any reaction? Well, you know what? It's interesting. Um, Gary asked a great question on Facebook Live. I'm going to repeat that question, Gary, to the folks who are listening. Still 254 to 215. Okay, Trump. Okay, so Trump still needs 16. I think mainstream media, CNN in particular, are in quite the pickle. They have come out and they have come out of the closet, and it is all over the place. I don't know if they're all able to put that genie back in the bottle. I don't know if CNN's able to stuff Donna Brazile back in that bottle next to Barbara Eden. I don't know how they do that. I think they do what they've always done. They just pretend that nothing's happened and go on. They just pretend nothing's happened. Go on, business as usual. Now the thing is, they don't have to change at all, except all you have to do is do something novel. The idea of mainstream media is to simply, if you are considering yourself a news bureau, is just tell the truth. Is just say what happened. Like tonight, there isn't. You know what? It's interesting that tonight that halfway through this thing they're talking about exit polls. Right now, nobody gives a rat's patoot about exit polls. The real numbers are coming out, and the only reason they talked about exit polls early was to create this atmosphere of inevitability. That ends up being something that they can use to suppress the vote. Because they want people to give up. I just want you to give up. I just want you to quit. I don't have to kill you if you quit. So, all you have to do is just, as a news bureau, just report the news. Just report what happens. I think that if CNN and NBC, ABC, CBS just go back to that, I think that's the pivot that they need to make. Now, in that, a lot of change. There's got to be a lot of changing in programming, and there may have to be some changing in people. I think that some of the other people that you had before, like Anderson Cooper and the like, they may have to go away. And and something else, I think that the whole the way that debates are done, that's going to have to change too. Whatever happens tonight. However it works out, and I believe that Donald Trump has won this election, things are going to change. Things have to be different. And that's that, and whether you hate him, love him, or whatever, thanks to Donald Trump and this campaign, this movement, it's forced a lot of people to readjust. And my friend Paul Swanson of paulswanson.com, go to paulswanson.com right now and click the tip jar, read the articles, have a good time. I'm going to get him to put in a form to sign up for his email list. I'm going to do that, I promise you. Get back to journalism. The who, the what, the where, the when, the how, the why, and the how. I think whoever gets back to there first, whoever's able to pivot and get back to there first will win the day. I do. I think whatever these news bureaus are able to do, I mean, CNN, NBC, I don't think MSNBC can do it. I think that right now, Rachel Maddow she's probably got a pound and a half of weed, and she's been smoking that. I mean, everybody in that newsroom has been smoking weed all night long, trying to stay calm enough to get through this whole mess. So is anybody watching MSNBC right now? I don't know one watches them anyway, but is anybody watching MSNBC? Paul, are you streaming MSNBC? Who's on their coverage right now? I don't have any idea. We don't watch MSNBC in my house. I think that apparently they are hand counting ballots in some counties in Pennsylvania due to voting machine issues. Voting machine issues. Anyway, sounds like an episode of Scandal to me. Paul is doing. Rachel Maddow had a stroke twice. Oh, that poor girl must be dying. This must be killing her, because I think they believed what they were reporting. Although, frankly, I think the news medias have access to internal polling, and they knew differently. They knew differently, which makes them even more dishonest. Because some of the polling that we see, the Gallup and some of these other than PPP, some of these polls are external polls. The polls that get spent on, that get the most money spent on them, are the polls that the campaigns do, which are much different. They're called internal polls because you see the information that the campaigns pay for, and they're a lot more directed and a lot more pointed, and usually a lot closer to what actually the truth is. And some of the news media has access to those polls, so they know what the real numbers say. And then that tells them that they have to go into back off mode or attack mode, depending on which side of the equation they want to push in a particular election. And I wish it were different. I wish that I wasn't telling the truth. I wish I was just making this crap up. But as you saw this time, as you saw in 2008, and as you saw in 2012, that's the truth. That's how it works. That's what happens. All right, let's get back to the numbers. Let's see. I'm on the. I was looking at what Paul was writing. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get back to the numbers real quick. Come on, computer, you can do it. Come on, computer, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. All right. All right, now. 254 to 215. Is that what we're Paul? Is that what we're looking at? Yes. Okay. Cool. I see what you've written down there. Thank you. I don't have to write it again. Hand counting some balance. I guess they're getting making. I guess they're making sure that everything's on the up and up in Pennsylvania. Maybe. So, sort of the preemptive strike against recalls. But it looks like it does, from what I'm seeing. It looks like Trump's going to win Pennsylvania, and if Trump wins Pennsylvania, this is over, and we can all go to bed. I think that Trump's going to win Wisconsin. It's up by more than almost 4 points in Wisconsin. Let's see. I'm getting a Facebook message from somebody. Let's see who it is. They're knocking on my door. Sonny Cruz. Yeah. But so again, either of those states, not even both, either of these states, in the night for the Clinton campaign. Either of those in the night for the Clinton campaign. Let's look at the Senate. The Senate is 48. The Republicans need 3 seats to win a majority. They have 48 seats now. Democrats have 47. Let's look at the House. The Republicans have still have a pretty commanding lead in the House, 224 to 166. So all the people who were, and this is my favorite Mike Huckabee phrase of the campaign, hand-wringing, bedwetting Republicans, have nothing to say. Because it looks like the Republicans were able to, with maybe coattails, but frankly I'm guessing not. Were able to, by the strength of their own campaigns, able to hold on to their seats, and that's what I think is important. Here in Florida, in the 13th congressional district, Charlie Crist, the chameleon, former governor, Republican governor, turned independent, turned Democrat, has won a congressional seat in the 13th district, congressional district of Florida. That's kind of sad news for me, because Charlie Crist never ever saw an office that he didn't want to run for. Never saw an office that he wanted to run from, and has replaced the incumbent David Jolly. Jolly's a good guy, but they redrew that district. The legislature redrew that district, and it was more red, and now it's more blue, and made it almost impossible for David Jolly to win that district. And the Democrats were happy winning it with Charlie Crist, the former Republican president, who they said 8 years ago was Beelzebub. It's politics. I get it. It's just politics. So that was kind of sad. It looks like Dennis Ross in Congressional District 15 was able to hold on and win. And in District 14, where I live, it is Kathy Castor, the most liberal Democrat in Congress. Yeah, Charlie Crist would run for mosquito control. You're right. He would literally be the guy who would be running for dog catcher if indeed anybody actually elected a dog catcher. He really would. He never met an office he didn't want to run for. And now he's got his wish. He is going to Washington, which is something that he's always wanted. To give you an idea about Charlie Crist was upset when, and I think this is one of the things that sort of pushed him away from the Republican Party. He was sure that he was going to be John McCain's running mate in 2008. He was sure of it. Got married and everything. Got married because he thought he needed to be married to have the look of somebody who might be a heartbeat away from being the president of the United States. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. And I think that was the beginning of the end of Charlie Crist as a Republican. Let's see, somebody's asking me on my Facebook Messenger who I voted for. Okay. So what I said was, who did you vote for? Was the question. I said, for, and I asked for the question. CNN has Trump Elliott at 238 with Clinton at 215. Surprise? No, because again, the Clinton News Network is in the deal. Hey, what's going on? Mike Garris says I have the BBC World News on NPR right now, in addition to me, and they are all in the DNC. They're all at the DNC headquarters, and there's some talk that Comey is reopening an investigation in Clinton's emails. Hang on a second here. Let me open this up. And saying it wasn't necessary. In addition to the media not vetting Trump early on as a reason that he's leading. No, I don't think so. I think that there probably hasn't been somebody as vetted as Trump, because Trump is such a lightning rod for attention. It wasn't like he was meek and mild and quiet. He was loud. He was bellicose. He was crass. He was vulgar. They went back and got videos of him on a bus with Billy Bush from 11 years ago. They dug up people who, from 25 years ago, who said that that this lady who claimed that Trump accosted her on an airplane on a Braniff flight 20 plus years ago. There hasn't been a candidate vetted or investigated to the same degree as Donald Trump in any of the past elections, any of going back to 2008. They definitely didn't vet Barack Obama to this level. And the email scandal. It was completely necessary. You know, when Comey's first, yes, you're absolutely right. Comey's first news conference, when he decided that he was not going to prosecute Senator Secretary Clinton. All the things he said leading up to, we're not filing charges. With every person that I talked to who was involved in that said it was a big what WTF. What are you talking about? There are people, there's a guy in jail now who took pictures on his cell phone that he could have of his submarine. He went to jail. And when asked before Congress were their top secret emails on Hillary Clinton's private email server, Comey said yes. Hillary Clinton said no. She lied to Congress, which for you and I, Mike, would land our ass in jail. That's all there is to it. We would be in the slammer doing a lambada with some guy named Bubba. That's just the reality of all of this, and to, you know what I'm saying? So this whole idea of the BBC saying that it wasn't necessary, most certainly it was necessary. It was only not necessary because they should have indicted her the first time. Now, if they couldn't find anything new, that's something different. If they couldn't find anything new, that's something different. I heard some experts talking about this whole idea that the idea is that they were able to go through those emails because a lot of them were duplicates. But in order to go through them to find out if they were duplicates, you have to open an investigation. You just can't say, "Hey, let me see your laptop. Let me check." Cool? No, you got to go to the court. You got to get a subpoena. You got to go through the steps. So the investigation had to be reopened. And there's still questions about the Clinton Foundation and accepting foreign money and using that money in her campaign. There's still a lot of investigations that need to go on. Frankly, I don't think they will go on. I think once this is over tonight, a lot of that other stuff is going to go away too. I think a lot of that other stuff is going to go away as well. Maine has been called for Clinton, according to my friend Paul Swanson, SEN, paulswanson.com. Go there, hit the tip jar. Go ahead and do it. Won't hurt you. Best thing in the world for you. Let's see. And Maine has a grand total, and we'd already, excuse me, my nose itches. We'd already put Maine in her column. Grand total of 4 electoral votes. Had we put Maine in her column? Let me look at my. Yes, we'd already put Maine in her column and her path to victory. Let's see what the numbers are. Hit the tote board, Billy. According to the that should be 219, right? If my arithmetic is good. Hey, Barbara, welcome back. Right now, let me see if I can refresh this screen. Oh, my nose itches. That's not good. That's not good. Actually, on the Google map hasn't changed. I'm not sure why that is. Hasn't changed. Let's see if we can open up the NewYorkSlime.com. They have 215 and 244 Trump with 270 to win. Let's see. Donald Trump with a 48 points at 48.7%, 48.7, and Hillary Clinton with 47.8. That's still 0.9 difference. Let's look at Iowa. Trump. They have called Iowa for Trump. Let's look at Wisconsin. Wisconsin is leaning Trump. Michigan is leading Trump. Pennsylvania is leading Trump. Arizona is leading Trump. Maine just got called for Hillary Clinton. And New Hampshire is razor thin. Hillary Clinton is leading by 0.7%. There you go. And I think that's the best state that Gary Johnson is doing. And Gary Johnson actually has 4.2% of the vote, the Libertarian vote in New Hampshire. So there you go. This is, ladies and gentlemen, something that none of us expected. And according to the New York Slime forecast, there's a 90 plus 95% chance that that Donald Trump will be president of the United States. Frankly, I already called it. Let's see, the forecast on the New York Slime page for Donald Trump electoral vote total is at 308 right now. So he will. So according to the New York Slime, it looks like he will win going away. So there you go. So what are you going to do? Now we're going to be on tomorrow. We're going to be on Blog Talk Radio tomorrow. And the link will be in, here on my Facebook page. And I want you to call in and tell me the gamut of emotions that you've been on in the past week and how you're feeling now. Oh, hey Mike, you're welcome, buddy. You're welcome. Next time you're in Florida, you better come and see me. You hear me? Don't let me find out that you were in Florida and then you didn't come see me, because I will get you. I know you all manly and thick now, but I got old man strength. I will get you. Hey, Don is back. I want you to call tomorrow. I'm going to put the link will be here in the on my Facebook page, and you found my Facebook page, so you know where I am, right? So I really want you to call in tomorrow. The call-in number is 646-200-3246. And I want you to tell me about the gamut of emotions. I think if you listen to a lot of mainstream media, at some point in the past week, you were discouraged. Hey, you were discouraged. I know that some people contacted me privately, and they were worried, and they were very worried. They were worried about even the idea of a Hillary Clinton presidency. They were worried. I had to remind them that God was still on the throne. Jesus is still Lord of my life, and the Lord of their life. And whatever people do is whatever people do. You feel me? Whatever people do is what people do. And I was at peace, and I was, and I'm telling you that I'd be disingenuous. I'd be lying to you to say that I'm not enjoying this, because I am enjoying this for a multitude of reasons that I'm going to talk about tomorrow on my Blog Talk Radio show on Fight Back. But whatever, I was going to be at peace. And I remember in 2008 when Barack Obama won the presidency, I tell you, I was sad. I'm not going to lie to you, I was sad. I remember coming home from work that Tuesday, and they were partying in Grant Park on the TV, and my family was watching them party. And I just I didn't even sit down in the living room. I sort of stood there and stared at the TV. And then I said to them, I'm going to bed. And I went and got into bed. I'd had enough. I just couldn't take it. I just could not take it. I was tired. I was beat down. I couldn't take it. Okay. I was. And that's what I did. I don't know if you're a Hillary Clinton supporter, if that's how you feel now, because you're just tired. I get that you're just tired. I do. It's been this. I mean, media has pushed it to this crazy roller coaster of emotions, and it's hard not to get your emotions involved. A lot of us have risked relationships over all of this. And I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of other people won't tell you. This is important enough to risk relationships. Yeah. I was shocked. I was tired. I was beat down. I just couldn't. I tell you, I shut down. I couldn't deal. I drove home. I didn't listen to the radio. I watched the celebration in Grant Park that was on TV, and I went and got in my bed. I was simply shut down. So believe me, I get it, which is why I'm not going to be on here tonight gloating. That I'm not going to walk around tomorrow gloating. I'm not going to run out and get myself a Make America Great hat and a Trump Pence shirt. I'm not going to. I don't think it's time for gloating. I think it's time for praying. I think it's time for reflection. I think it's time to, like I was trying to say before I interrupted myself, I'm not looking for Donald Trump to bring the country together. I'm looking for me to bring my world and my universe back together. Because that'll be a lot more. I hope that that's a lot more effective than hoping that Donald Trump's message brings anybody together. I think that what we need to do is bring our own universe back together. Me and my nephew went round and round, so much that I unfriended him from Facebook, and I told him I'd rather preserve our real relationship than our Facebook relationship. I love my nephew, but I want to maintain a relationship. It's time for me to heal my universe. And you're right, and Gary is right. We still need to turn to God. We still need to turn to God. God's people still need to stay focused, stay on point. And I talk about focus all the time. We're going to stay on focus. Hillary Clinton was not your savior. Hillary Clinton did not die on the cross for you. And neither did Donald Trump, or Mike Huckabee, or Barack Obama, or John Kasich, or Carly Fiorina, or Ben Carson. That is not what's going to save your soul, and that's not. None of those people are going to heal the nation from the pain that the nation is suffering. They're not able to. They don't have what it takes. Only Christ. Only the Word of God has that. So it's fairly easy to repair my universe. When I say that, I'm talking about my friends, the people that I work with, who I love and respect anyway. I had before, and why wouldn't I love and respect them now? So that's what I'm going to go back into tomorrow. Miss Debbie is supposed to, let's see, we walked Monday. I don't know. Miss Debbie said she wants to go out and walk before work tomorrow morning at 6 or so. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Her and my son are in the front room. Excuse me, my nose itches like crazy. Watching the returns, and things seem to have gone down to a crawl. Just stopped. We're right here near the end. Things seem to have just stopped. Let's see. Let's go ahead and refresh this New York Slime page. To look at the there you go. According to the New York Slime, Donald Trump has a plus 95% of winning the presidency, and looks like his electoral vote total will be 307. Let's look and see what. Now, that's a lot less than Obama. True. Obama in 2008 was 360. 360. A little less in 2012. Donald Trump looks like it's going to be like 305 or so. New York, the NewYorkTimes.com/elections/results/president. There you go. And so you can see that, and their map is like everybody else's map, 215 and 244 right now, with 270 to win. But it looks like if you do any of the math, and if you look at the states that are leaning Trump, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm sorry, that's not true. One, according to this map, my friend Paul says that Maine has already been called for Hillary Clinton, and it looks like it should. There's still New Hampshire in play, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Arizona. Yes, I said New York Slime. I did. I wish I had made that up, Don, but that's something that Mark Levin calls the New York Times. What else? Oh, he also says the Associated Depressed instead of the Associated Press. He always calls them the Associated Depressed. You gotta love Levin. He's a lot of fun. He's a big guy, but if you ever listen to the Levin show, he talks like this. He has a voice like this. He's like 6'1", 6'2". He's a big guy. He'll beat your butt. I wouldn't want to tangle with the guy. Man, he talks like this. Sort of Mike Tyson kind of thing. He sounds like you could take him on the phone until he show up at your door. You talk much trash to him on the phone, and you show up at the door, and you're like, I can't believe you were saying these things to me like that on the telephone. And then you think, oh, I'm going to die. Great. So this is how I'm going to die. This guy with one brain cell is going to pound me in the butter. Yay. Didn't think I was going that way. Yeah, I love Levin. You listen to the Levin show. He does just like this, and he gets really loud, and he gets really angry a lot. But he's a big guy. I think he's like 6'1", 6'2". He like if you knock on his door, he could take you. I wouldn't want to mess with him. He'd beat you up and then sue you, and then make you pay for it. Like build a wall and make you pay for it, right? I don't think I want to mess with Mark Levin. But as we're looking at this, I think Maine's already been called. Paul, let me ask my friend Paul. That's what we're talking about, Paul. I'm going to talk about that here again because I want to find out if she is going to live up to the same standards that she was trying to get Trump to live up to in that debate. Donald Trump has now 64% favorite to win Michigan and 85% to win Pennsylvania, according to the New York Slime. Yes, I saw that. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at their. I am looking at their page right now, and the only two states that are in play right now for three that are in play right now on this page are Maine, Minnesota, and New Hampshire. Not enough for 270. Not nearly enough for 270. And the ones that are in the column for Trump right now are Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Now, the importance there, the excitement there is that we're talking about breaking into the blue belt. Well, Don, the deal is that if you go to Pennsylvania and talk to coal workers about putting them out of work, they go, yay, Democrat! What? Put me out of work? What? What did she say? She wants to put us out of work. What? Who is she? And it's the same sort of, I think it's the same sort of Donald Trump DL that I talked about earlier in the black community. I think that, the coal workers, the coal miners, people in the coal industry went to the polls. They had their Democrat slate with them because they always do. And they started filling, and they got to the president was first and went, I'll leave that. And they went to the rest of them and they filled the whole thing out. Turn it over. And they got back to the president and went, oh, no. Jill Stein? Who the heck is Jill Stein? Gary Johnson? Isn't that the stoner? Nah. Hillary Clinton. I want to put you out of work. What? No such thing as clean coal. Donald J. Trump. What do we got to lose? What do I got to lose? It's the same thing that happened, I think, when we drill down to these numbers later. It's the same thing that happened in urban America that mainstream media never saw coming because they were pushing the whole racist narrative. Because that's a narrative that usually resounds in the African American community in urban America. But they tried it. It's one of those things, they tried it once too often. They went to the well once too often. It's like, and here we go. And Alaska is leading early with, early on Alaska. Now, we're at 1:30 in the morning. Alaska's now in play. Good God, mainstream media. Give it up. They're holding on to the last second. Don't they know that I've already called this election for Trump? Didn't I already say that we're talking about President-elect Donald John Trump? Didn't I already say that? I did. That's how it's going to be. You're going to wake up tomorrow, and Donald Trump will be President-elect. That's just it. And they're holding on for dear life. Arizona, those polls have been closed for a while. Let's look at Arizona. Arizona is 49.4 to 45.6 Trump, with 71.7% of the precincts reporting. That's 11. Let's see. Let's look at Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is 48.7 to 47.7. Trump. Michigan, let's get there, is 48.4 to 46.5. Trump, that's 16. That, you know what? The monkey's dead, the show's over. Sue ya. You know what I'm saying? Monkey's dead, show's over. Sue ya. This is done. This is done. But when you go into these places and you threaten people's jobs, they just go, you know what? Can't do it. They just couldn't do it. And you know what? And their unions may have been forcing the issue, because that's where, imagine the frustration, because that's where your union dues went, or at least part of your union dues went. They just couldn't do it. They were like, you know what? Just can't do it. Paul reminded me of something. That is Hillary Clinton going to give her concession speech tonight? Is she going to give her concession speech tonight? Is she going to decide that, you know what, let's just have this be over? Let's just have this be over. There are reports from the Javits Center in New York that Hillary Clinton supporters are leaving their party in tears. Well, you know what? I understand. I get it. A lot of these people have been working on this campaign even before she said she was going to run. And they were invested. I mean, they were invested not just in money, they were invested in their time, and they have stopped their lives. You know, I get it. I think that if you don't understand that, then you have never lost anything worth winning. You know, I remember, I'm going to have a glass of my delicious Nicer. That's how I'm healing. Look, Nicer purified water. Nicer purified water. Nicer. I remember being on the football field with my son's football team when they lost a game to Plant, a playoff game to Plant. And it was interesting. I got on the field late after the game, and we lost the game. And I watched a whole bunch of, especially the seniors, these big football player kids draped over their mothers, sobbing uncontrollably after this loss of this football game, and just sobbing. Coach was in the center of the circle, and the kids were around Coach, and there were the other coaches were in another circle outside of the kids, holding on to their wives. They may not have been sobbing uncontrollably, but they were shaken. And then the rest of the parents in the outer circle, with tears streaming down our faces for our kids. And what I learned that night was that if you don't understand that, then you have never lost anything worth winning. You have never lost anything you've cared about. So, yeah, you know, I imagine that if I was, had been, you know, fully invested in the Hillary Clinton campaign and had been working my tail off, I mean, been working my tail off to the point where I got invited to the party in New York, and this is how the night turned out, I would be crushed. I would be crushed. Yes, I would be. I'd be crushed. After not qualifying for 2 elections and 2 cycles in a row, I don't know if I didn't come home and cry either time. But I understand why people do. I get it, you know? I get it. Especially the last time. I'll be perfectly honest with you, I was crushed. Because my campaign started off so well, and we were doing stuff and going places. I was crushed. Yes, just like in '08. Don, you're right. You know, a lot of us have worked really, really hard. You know, I'd started the Blog Talk Radio thing. A lot of us had, you know, we had gone to meetings and we had campaigned and we had worked really hard, as hard as we could work. And lost. In 2012, I was flown across the country to help. And we lost anyway. It's crushed. I get it. So, you know what? Again, no gloating about that kind of stuff. I get it. Paul Swanson says that Trump leads Pennsylvania by 51,000 votes with 99% of it in. I called this election an hour ago. Donald Trump is your next president. How do you feel about it? Donald Trump is your next president. How do you feel about it? You feel good about it? Well, I had to. I mean, I'd be totally dishonest with you if I tell you that I didn't go through the whole gamut of emotions of being sad, being angry, being bitter. I went through all that stuff because in these elections, you know, when these campaigns, you put your guts in it. Your life basically gets put on hold, and you pull your guts out. And then when you don't make it, it's hard. I'll tell you what, it's hard. I've got some friends that I need to get to tonight and start putting back together. My friend Eric Seidel did not win, and he should have won. My friend Tim Schock did not win, and frankly, I think he should have won. They were the better candidates. And these guys stopped their lives. All successful guys stopped what they were doing. Their families stopped what they were doing. They put their guts into this. And were unsuccessful. And I don't care what anybody says, that if you're unsuccessful, it's failure. Hey, Andrew, what's up, baby? It's good to see you. You need to come by the store and visit me. I haven't seen you in a while. No, it's impossible not to take personally because, frankly, it's meant personally. It's a personal rejection of you. Gary and I were talking about this today. It is a personal rejection of you. It's not a personal rejection of your ideas, because you could blow off that somebody disagrees with your ideas. That's not a problem. But if you don't qualify, that means that they don't think you were the person to carry those ideas forward. So it's personal. I mean, it's you have to take it personally because it's meant personally. So I get it. I get why, you know what, people get upset. I get why I get why people get too overjoyed. Like when Obama won in 2008, they interviewed that girl at Grant Park who said that she wasn't going to have to worry about her light bill and her rent anymore, her car payment. I get it, because that's the opposite of what you get when you lose. There's this elation that is almost impossible to contain. I get it. I'm still looking for it. I'd still like to have it. So there you go. Let's see, and they're not calling these races because it seems like they're holding out to the last possible moment. I'm guessing Facebook's watching me to make sure that I don't pull a fast one on them, but I already have. I've called this election for Trump. This is over. There's no path for Hillary Clinton to win the Electoral College. There's no path. She can't win. And even if for some reason Donald Trump, and I can't imagine, does not get to 270, break out your constitutions, kids. Because what happens next is, if that's your question, I'm sure some people had this question, what if nobody gets to 270? Well, if nobody gets to 270, then this election automatically goes to the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives is a Republican House of Representatives right now. So ostensibly, I would guess that they would choose Republican candidates. Donald Trump, Mike Pence wins. There you go. So right now, and I think that people leaving the Hillary Clinton place just knows. According to the Associated Press, Donald Trump has won Pennsylvania. So if we look up, and there it is, Pennsylvania goes in the Trump column, and ladies and germs, that should do it. That should do it. That's the deal. Welcome, President-elect Donald Trump. There you go. All right. I'm not sad about the outcome. I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you what I'm going to do tomorrow. If Miss Debbie makes me get up and walk with her, I will. As we walk around our block, I'm going to pray for my block. I'm going to pray for all the families of my block. I'm going to pray for my community. I'm going to pray for all the businesses. You know what? Where I live, all the roads, all the elected officials, all the newly elected officials, school board, all that stuff. And I'm going to pray for the President-elect Donald Trump. My suggestion is that you do the same. All right, we're going to get out of here. It is 1:45 on the 9th of November. It was the 9th of November. The day I'll always remember. Yeah, because that was the day when Trump won the presidency. I gotta get out of here. I've got to get out of here. I gotta get my nicer water, and this is water. A lot of people on the call know that I don't even drink water. Maybe some root beer. Now this ain't no gin or vodka. I don't drink no gin or vodka. Never drank vodka when I was drinking gin. I ain't drink no vodka. Can't drink that stuff. Make your breath stink. Vodka, sound off. Everybody in the club know, who is that? Drinking that Smirnoff vodka. Oh, they make gin, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm drinking some nicer water. In any case, my name is Willie Lawson. This is Fight Back Media Group. This is Fight Back Media Group. I'm gonna leave you with pray for your new president. Your new president is Donald John Trump Jr. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sake, take care of yourself. God bless each and every one of you. And if you want to know what we're doing on Fight Back Media, go to fightbackmedia.com and click the donate button and make this so next time I don't have to use my phone. Feel me? Anyway, thanks again. God bless. Bye-bye now. Oh my God, what's the law? Like they are drinking up something. You're good at that. Thank you. I appreciate that, really. Mixed bag. That's 4 years. Oh my God, what are you gonna do? Red eye. Shut up. Who won? First time in a while. I guess you voted for somebody who won.